Hey, Christy here from MindRewire, back with you today because people keep asking me what is MindRewire. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit and maybe define it a little bit clearer so it's easier to understand what it is I do and how I help you get to the place that you want to be in your life. So MindRewire basically is a protocol that I came up with and that I've been using successfully with clients for years in order to help them change their subconscious thinking. We basically reset the defaults. So if you think through your past and all the things that you've gone through and the ways that you think about things, those things following you into your future sometimes can derail a project, right? It can derail pretty much anything you're working on. And we see this a lot. I see this a lot lately with people trying to start small businesses or the entrepreneur mindset, right? And all these people thinking that they're going to go into business for themselves and create this great lifestyle of less work and more money and all these things, but they are caught up and they have blocks surrounding money. They have issues from their past, from their childhood, if you will. You know, and childhood meaning 0 to 7, childhood meaning 7 to 13, meaning teenager years, young adulthood. This can happen at any point in your life where you develop a belief system that turns into a roadblock or a stronghold in your life. And, you know, especially I was just talking about entrepreneurs with that kind of an idea. If you've got money blocks, if you've got issues surrounding the idea of having money, or you think it's evil, or you have a problem in that area, that gets super tough, right? And we can tell ourselves over and over and over that, you know, consciously, I know what I want. I know I want to earn $100,000 a month or whatever the number is, but subconsciously, your brain keeps telling you something else. And it's not just that it's telling you something else. It's not just telling you the story that you were told. It's giving you chemicals. It's giving you hormones from your body to back it up and support it, which makes it really tough to overcome. So what MindRewire does is we're not just changing the idea, we're not just changing the belief, we're not just changing the thought, we're actually going in and trying to restructure the chemicals that your body, the chemicals and hormones that your body are giving you every time you go into one of your cycles, every time you go into a thought process or you try and do something where all of a sudden you're like, and then I self-sabotaged, or, you know, you try and do something and you're like, I started, then I can't finish it. You know, I've got all these little projects started that I can't finish. Or you recognize a pattern, right? The same kind of people showing up over and over and over again in your life and just causing mayhem and disaster. It's interesting when you come to realize those things and you see how it's playing out in your life. And sometimes we can even go back and recognize where it started, why you have those patterns, why you self-sabotage, why you have that feeling inside your body. And so that's what we try and adjust and tweak. That's where we go into the system itself, meaning your system. And your system has many different layers to it, so we address every one of them. And when we're adjusting that feeling, you don't always have a clear idea of where it came from. So we go at it from the feeling. If there is a clear idea, we go straight to that period of time or to that person. Right? The idea of inner child work comes up frequently. Do you really need to do all this inner child work? And is it even effective? That's one of my questions. If you're just going to that child and trying to hold them and hug them and convince them they're okay, and your subconscious mind keeps giving you the chemicals and kicking back out the information that, no, I'm not, that's a tough one to beat. You have to step beyond that to before that ever even happened and recreate a feeling, give your body a whole different sensation, teach your cells how to feel different, and then move forward. Because just stopping at that little child that had the issue initially sometimes doesn't cut it. It leaves you dragging this out for years and years and years, and that really sucks. And I know because I did it. I sat in a psychiatrist's office for over 10 years trying to figure out what the heck had happened to me and why I was caught, and not only the patterns that I was caught in, but the illnesses that started occurring because of it. And it was straight up mayhem and chaos in my life. So addressing that made a huge difference. When you understand that the chemicals your body is giving you is what the trigger is that sends you into the responses that you're going into, and that it's actually easy to change that out, to redirect and start to structure and change the system, that's when the ideas in your mind, that's when the thoughts that you think, that's when the beliefs that you have will start changing too. They'll change in response to the chemical change, to the feeling change inside your body. And it goes beyond the chemical change. I speak about that a lot and talk about that a lot because that is the first physical response. That's the first physicality that we can address easily and quickly. On the other side of the physical response, there's more of a spiritual end to it, right? There's more of the spiritual feeling, or there's like beyond the chemical physical that our body has. And then when we step into that and you start to grow in that arena, and then you start to recognize there's more to all of this than you thought there was, that's when we start to gain more traction. Healing occurs on a different level, and the changes happen pretty rapidly. It's pretty amazing, actually. So that's what Mind Rewire is. I say Mind Rewire because the whole system is a mind. It's not like I have a brain and then I have my heart and then I have my mind and then I have my spiritual body and I have my soul and I have my physical body. If we keep taking it apart, it's going to keep not functioning properly. It has to be brought back together in a whole. And I just call the whole thing the mind, right? So just my verbiage, the way I look at it, the way I understand it. When you start to see it in a different pattern, and you can call it however you want to call it, when you start to see it in that different light, things will start to change pretty rapidly. So Mind Rewire basically helps you change the subconscious programming, not just from a brain standpoint, from a cellular level. We go in and change the way you feel before the issue ever even started and give you a different understanding of what you can feel like based on what you want in your life. It becomes the new go-to. We want your brain to go to this new feeling first, not to all of the old junk first. That's when you know your subconscious has been successfully reprogrammed. When the brain goes to the new feeling first and not to all the old junk that you went through in your life, trying to sort through it and sift through it and see what it needs to, pull back in order to find your actions and reactions. What would happen if you had such a good feeling inside your body, inside your heart, and inside your mind, that the internal response was just like a good feeling, was just happiness? Would you even know how to react to it? It gets really fun at that point, because then you start teaching yourself how to act different. And for some of us, it's literally teaching ourselves how to do all this different. I wasn't taught to be happy. I wasn't what in my estimation, was allowed to be happy, right? I was taught to stay quiet, to be in my little hole, to just like stay out of the way. It was just safer. And because of that, I never recognized what happiness was. I literally, as an adult, had to go teach myself happiness. I had to go teach myself this response to find this better feeling. And in doing so, I created Mind Rewire. I've helped many, many people with this protocol, still walking it forward. And it's just like in this constant mode of change. And right now I'm creating a mastermind healing group because of what Mind Rewire is doing in people's lives and what I have seen it do when I bring people together and when we're actually working together in a group instead of just singly on our own. And it's powerful both ways. But in a group, the whole nature of it changes. So I'm starting to send out word about this mastermind healing group. If that's something that you're interested in, I want you to click below. And even if you've talked to me below and you didn't think it was right for you, if you're like, oh, this sounds a little bit different, I think I might be interested, get on another call with me. Let's talk about it. It's a free 30-minute session where I can tell you about Mind Rewire, and especially about this mastermind group. If the mastermind group is what you're interested in, when you book your appointment, make a notation down there and I'll tell you more about it. I hope this helped you understand a little bit more about what Mind Rewire is and how it works. And I hope to be talking to you soon. If you have any questions, you can always write a comment in the box, or you can email me at Christy@mindrewire.com. That's fine too. You can also, if you want to, grab that free session. We can have a discussion about how all this works and then help you carry it forward from there. Check me out on Instagram. You can go find me on Instagram at MindRewire. Please subscribe to this channel. That helps me, my ratings out a ton, and I greatly appreciate that. And again, I hope to be talking to you soon. Thanks.